What is up, you guys? It's your boy Luis Torres, and welcome to another episode of Drive By with Luis Torres. And actually, I'm driving to a corporate meeting with one of my clients. So you guys may not know this, but I also do marketing for a number of businesses in my area. Some of them are large clients, and this is a meeting with one of them. So that's why I am dressed up all snappy, looking all corporate America-like. So that's, the other side of life, right? So, funny enough, so when I was a kid, I kind of felt like, dude, as a kid, I hated the world. Bro, I was from Brooklyn. I live in upstate New York now, but when you're from Brooklyn, I kind of feel, and listen, and it's not just a Brooklyn thing, it's everywhere around the United States thing, right? I didn't grow up with money. It's weird when I talk to people who grew up in mansions with giant pools where for their 16th birthday, their parents bought them a new Corvette. And I'm just like, are you crazy right now? So, I grew up, I played music. I connected to the music that I played because it was angry. I was always an angry kid, which is why now at my age, I kind of still find myself brawling. Like, bro, I've definitely stepped out of my car and approached people that thought that they were looking to, they thought they were hard. And I'm like, dude, I'm going to murder you right now and stick a knife in your neck. So, for me, I was always angry. I loved going to shows. I loved going to CBGBs as a kid because I would unleash my danceteria and would always just, I would always just fight people. Almost like I looked for it. But I also grew up with a brother that was kind of a jerk. And, I kind of took my frustration out on that. But then I realized as I got older, I went from disliking adults to being like, oh, snap, I'm an adult. So, so you grew out of you kind of grow out of that. And, I ended up going into Wall Street and worked in finance for about 12 years in New York City. And, so it's funny. It's interesting having had a foot in two different worlds, right? One world which is all metal and relating to the anger and the chugging and going to shows and kicking and it's that. And then on the flip side, at times I don't know what to do when someone's like really kind and polite. I'm just like, don't you dare wave at me because I know you're going to try to murder me later. And that's just how I grew up. I'll talk to other guys that grew up in Chicago, in certain parts of Louisiana, and they're just like, dude, ain't nothing different from the 80s and early 90s from Brooklyn compared to Louisiana and parts of Minnesota and parts of Miami, Florida, and Atlanta. Like, dude, all of these places were all hot spots where if you grew up in those areas, dude, you probably grew up with a gun in your hand and ready to shoot people. So it's interesting. It's sometimes I'll find myself literally switching over from t-shirts and shorts and having played out of my Mesa rectifier and being like, oh, I have a meeting, I need to wear a suit today. Or even, not that I wear suits at weddings, but I used to for a few years, and that's just from having worked on Wall Street. So it's always been weird having had almost like two lives. One life that was shitty, not that shitty, but shitty enough. I've seen people get shot in their face just a few feet away from me. I've seen police raids where half the people that were raided were dead within 5 minutes. Just real craziness. So it's definitely weird at times for me to get dressed up, for me to switch gears and start talking to an executive from this company, and they're just nice and polite, and I'm just like, you know, I have to turn the dial to nice and polite Louis. Like I always say, I'm a nice guy. I'm not that nice. I'm definitely, I have two sides for me, and the two sides, there's no gray. It's either I love you and I'm going to give you a big giant hug, or I'm going to approach you and want to stick a knife in your throat and walk away like nothing happened. Some guys, and they're like, dude, I grew up exactly the same way, or they did, and the difference is that they're much kinder and much more polite. Like I can definitely add on the niceties, if you will, and be really sweet and kind and polite. But it's definitely a challenge at times, only because I'm always like, you know, I'm always like this, always like mean. It looks like I'm cross-eyed. No. So it's just real interesting, you know. And I know, you know, I'll talk to some guys and they're like, you know, Lewis, you seem like you kind of have everything going. Dude, I never do. Don't ever think that I have my life in order. I never do. It's always me grinding, hustling, you know, of course not hustling in a bad way, but I work, dude. I work. You know, I was talking to Sean Davis, truck driver Sean, earlier, and he's like, dude, you are always busy. And I'm just like, yo, that's kind of all I know. So, you know, so that's why it's interesting when, you know, with my YouTube channel, like seriously, like my YouTube channel, I laugh because to me, it's like, it's fun for me. It's an outlet. It's like playing guitar. Even though I'm playing guitar during it, there's a little more going on because I have to some degree, become an entertainer, right? And I have to kind of talk a certain way and kind of make something so it's entertaining. You know what I mean? Like there's some YouTubers that I'm just like, that to me they're boring because there's nothing really going on. Like, they don't make me laugh. So to me, my YouTube channel is an outlet to the life that I live, working, owning a few businesses, making sure that, you know, as I'm spinning my dishes, that none of them are falling. Yo, that's tough. Yo, it's tough, dude. I grew up, god damn it, I grew up fucking broke, dude. Broke, you know. It was always heartbreaking when I had friends that I grew up with, and they were just like, I'm gonna start playing guitar. My mom just bought me a guitar for $1,300, dude, and it's 1988. And I'm like, what? You just got your first guitar, and it's an ESP M1, or, you know, a slew of other guitars, and you know, here I am with a used, beat up old Kramer Pacer, and that's all that I bought used for $160. And the only way I got it was because I shoveled snow long enough for me to actually have the funds to buy it. Like, yo, you know, it's crazy. So that's why I have so many guitars and so many amps, because it's literally the collection that I couldn't afford as a kid. Who's that? Look, yeah, bro. Like, you know, it's not often that I'll run into someone and they're like, I grew up rich. Like, to me, because I'm a wedding photographer, you know, I'll talk to brides and I'm just like, how much did you guys spend on your wedding? And they're like, $188,000. Why? And I'm like, what is wrong with you guys? Like, legit, dude, you have no idea what it's like to shoot a wedding where the family spent $250,000, where they spent $400,000. You're just like, what? Like, to me, that's mind-blowing that people have money like that. But working on Wall Street kind of clued me in that, dude, people out there have so much money, it is mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. mind blowing, like you have no idea. Like I've worked with clients who are like, can you do me a favor and move $40 million from this account and buy these 2 shares? And how do you want to split it? And I'm like, how do you want to split it? And, you look at their accounts and, they have $380 million in there. And I'm just like, holy smoke. So people have ridiculous amounts of money, and it changed me. Dude, I grew up in Sunset Park, Brooklyn. Bro, go and Google Sunset Park, Brooklyn. And no, it's not the movie Sunset Park. I don't know where the hell they shot that thing, but I grew up in Sunset Park, Brooklyn. They call Sunset Park Gunset Park because that's how it was. It was just absolutely crazy. Everyone had a gun. Everyone was quick to shoot whoever the heck they needed to. And no one had money. We were all broke trying to figure out, I'm angry at you, so I'm going to kill you. Like, that's kind of the mentality. So it's interesting seeing families and people with money, and it's just like, you know what? There's ways to make money. So, I'll talk to some guys and they're just like, man, how do you buy all these amps? Aside from me just buying everything used, I'll sit back, dude. I work, if you own a bar, I will approach you and be like, what's up, kid? How's your media going? And, all I do is just take over their Instagram accounts, their Facebook accounts. And dude, as a photographer and videographer, I'll make videos, I'll take tons of photos, I'll do headshots, and that's all content that I can use when I take over their accounts. And, I charge for that, and I have a bunch of different clients. So aside from, so if anything, bro, hustle, make, and payment plans. Timmy, I see that. Yeah, but dude, you got to make those payments on those, on the payment plans too. So dude, bro, I don't know what money is. I learned about money as a full grown ass man who's like, this is what I'm going to do. And, start a business. I'm not saying go ahead and stop your job and do gigolo. But bro, there's definitely ways to make money because people out there wish they could have someone else work their, do certain things. Like if you own a bar, you may not be great at, the whole interwebs thing, and that's where I come in and I'm just like, dude, let's work together and figure out a game plan. And that way you can get more clients coming in. And, dude, I listen, don't think I'm just all white collar, bro. I own a pressure washing business. You have a house? Look at that thing. You look at all that mold on your roof. Are you silly right now? Come on, son. Listen, this is how much I'm going to charge to clean your goddamn house. And that's it, bro. All right, listen, I'm in front of the hotel now. So let me go into this meeting. Wish me luck. And I will talk to you guys soon. Love you guys.